Hey guys, welcome back to the DREZZED podcast. This is Kneon, and I have a gaming news roundup for you. For those of you who haven't listened to these videos or podcasts before, basically I take a bunch of the most current stories in gaming, and we put it all into one video. And I think it's better than doing 100 different videos about 100 different topics, although some of them might require more of a deep dive. But yeah, we got a lot of news for you this week. We had the Nintendo Direct, a bunch of indie games revealed. We've got Concord. Have you guys heard about this massive failure? Yeah, it's such a failure. It might cost Sony $200 million. And the rumor is they're going to raise the price of the PlayStation 5 to make up for the failure of this game. We've got lots of trailers to look at. I think we're going to look at some trailers from some of the great looking games that were actually announced at the Nintendo Direct and not so great. Star Wars Outlaws reviews. They're not so great. They're not fantastic. They're not glowing. They're very mid. There are a couple outlets that think the game is okay, but apparently there's a game-breaking bug that forces you to start over. So we're going to talk about all this and more. Please stick around, guys. All right, guys, welcome back. I don't know where to go with this. I don't know if I should talk about Star Wars Outlaws first or if I should talk about Concord first. Let's talk about Concord. So I've done some videos on the main Clownfish TV channel talking about this game. This is a DEI-infused fever dream, and this game was a massive, massive failure for Sony at launch. They thought this was going to be like an Overwatch, but yeah, it was like 8 years in development. And just laughably bad from everything I've heard. It had less than 1,000 concurrent players, and it's reportedly going to cost Sony like $200 million. So we're watching the death of AAA gaming in real time. I mean, it's so crazy. Just in the last year, just so much money has been burnt on games that nobody wants. Games that nobody wants to play. A lot of them live service, to be fair, but some of them are just massive failures right out of the gate. But this is one of the biggest. And this is a much, much bigger failure than even Suicide Squad. So this article is coming from Fandom Wire. Making up for the Concord loss, PS5 set to receive yet another price hike in Japan. According to Fandom Wire, gamers believe Concord's failure and losses might have pushed Sony to increase the PS5 prices in Japan once again. Reportedly, they're going to lose $200 million on Concord. And this is very similar to Suicide Squad. $200 million loss for Warner Brothers. PlayStation's brand new hero shooter Concord has just got off to an abysmal start, with less than 700 players jumping into the game on launch day. Currently, it's much less than that. I just checked it not too long ago, and I think it was about 150 people on. Expectations for the title were already relatively low following its open beta period back in July, but they had no idea. I mean, we hit the freaking floor. While there's no way to know how the title is performing on PS5, one thing is almost certain: the game likely cost Sony millions in losses. Again, we're hearing about $200 million. With the PS5 price being hiked up once again, the company may be trying to recover all the money lost with the failed hero shooter. Maybe, or the PS5 is, it's kind of getting toward the end of its life cycle, isn't it? You couldn't even find one until about 2 years ago. But Concord's failure might have pushed the PS5 price hike in Japan. Yeah, if you think the PS5 price would be much lower than it was back when it was released in the middle of the pandemic and the massive semiconductor shortage, you'd be wrong. That's not the case. Sony has jacked up the price of the console multiple times in the past, and now Japan has to pay for this. Japan has to pay for your DEI-infused fever dream here in the West. It's been hit with another price hike starting on September 2nd. Players in Japan will have to pay an additional $90 for the Sony console. Damn, that's a 20% hike. That's crazy. Currently, there's no mention of this price hike being put in place anywhere outside of Japan, Oh, wait for it, guys. Wait for it. But gamers are genuinely shocked. Destin Legary says, WTF is even happening this console generation. Yeah, this is the opposite of what usually happens. Usually what happens is the console is expensive and hard to find at first. And eventually, they start lowering the price. It starts out at $500 and it goes down to like $350, $250, and eventually it becomes like your kid brother's console and it's like $199 or $150. Back in my day, it was like the Sega Genesis, I think, when it came out, was like, I want to say it was like $250, and then they dropped it down to like, that was like $150, and that went down to $99, and eventually you could find them for like $50. I think that was the Genesis 3, that little compact thing. I love that thing though. Anyway, yeah, some fans think that if Sony had actually given us good games, these price hikes wouldn't have made a lot of sense. Keeps bringing titles out such as Concord. The company is now making Japanese gamers have to pay more, and it seems to do with their unwise choices, making up for the Concord loss. It's not just the console, even PlayStation accessories will be going up in price. According to Sony, the price hike can be blamed on the recent challenging external environment, including the current fluctuations in the global economic situation and the impact it will have on our business. The global economic situation is that gamers are getting tired of these DEI-infused AAA titles, especially live service games. They're not buying your shit. More gamers are going to PC. That is a huge factor. I don't know why they're not mentioning that. We did a video on this channel a couple months ago showing that you can go buy a mini PC and it can pretty much handle anything a PS4 can handle. Maybe not quite PS5 levels, but it's going to get to a place where you can pick up a mini PC and it's going to be able to do everything a console does within a couple of years. So I think standalone consoles are going to soon become, kind of a niche thing. People will buy standalone consoles, I think, to play certain games, like look at the retro games coming out from Atari and stuff like that with 7800, which looks really cool, by the way. But yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. Even though Sony has increased the PS5's price in other regions, none of them have been hit as badly as Japan. It's the second time Japanese gamers are getting a price hike in 2024. The company admitted that the hardware sales for the PS5 have begun to slump. So yes, raise the prices. Let's make the PC look even more attractive. PC prices are coming down. Let's get as much blood out of these stones as we can. They go on to say Concord is pure disappointment. The Steam reviews have been mostly positive for the 1,000 people that played it. There's little to no interest in this game. Currently, there are only 400 reviews on the platform, and according to Steam DB data, the hero shooter peaked at 697 players since it's released on August 23rd. That's not as bad as the other garbage DEI game, Dustborn. It was under 100 players. It was like 83 players. When compared to industry titans such as Overwatch 2, which is one of the worst rated games on Valve's service, Concord falls apart. Despite the Blizzard title being absolutely hated by every single soul, I don't know, Squid King plays a lot of Overwatch. Overwatch 2 still manages to pull around 55,000 players on a daily basis. Wow. That's a huge blow. Yeah, this is crazy. The thing about it is you put it up against Black Myth Wukong. Again, I haven't played Black Myth Wukong, but as of August 23rd, according to Niche Gamer, there are 10 million copies sold and 3 million concurrent players. Now, again, that's China. There's a lot more people in China, but that's, what I'm saying? Like, it's really hard to make a case for games like Concord and Dustborn when Black Myth Wukong, which got a lot of controversy, a lot of pushback, because when they sent out review codes, they sent early access codes out to streamers. They said, yeah, you can cover our game, you can review our game, but you can't talk about politics. You can't talk about feminism or quote unquote woke talking points. We don't want that. Just talk about the game. And that, I think a lot of people bought the game just because of that. But it's doing very, very well. So anyway, here's another article from Niche Gamer talking about the 20% price hike. Are they going to do that here before Christmas? Are they going to try that crap here? So let's go out and talk about something a little happier, I guess. And then we'll do Star Wars Outlaws. We'll do that at the end. Let's talk about the Nintendo Direct, August 2024. Everything announced. We're going to look at some trailers here, I think, for some of these games. Not all of them, don't worry, but I do want to look at a couple that look pretty interesting. This is actually coming from IGN. And yeah, this is everything that was announced. And there are a lot of like sequels, remakes, anime-style games, JRPGs, indie titles. Like, this is my thing. Like, I could care less about Concord. I could care less about, you know, whatever the latest AAA whatever is. You know, I don't care about Star Wars Outlaws. This stuff, I like this stuff. There's a lot of good stuff here. So we're just going to go down the list. If anything looks particularly interesting to me, we'll play a bit of the trailer. Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma announced for Switch. Haven't played that one. Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky is a huge remake. Yeah, so this is Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky. And this is interesting because this is another JRPG. There are a lot of JRPGs. Okay, this one I'm going to look at. Castlevania Dominus Collection brings multiple DS games to Switch today. Damn it! Am I going to have to buy this? So these are the DS Castlevania games, which I have not played. I actually did not have a DS, and I was kind of like, how are they going to pull that off? Because I hate like playing the DS via emulation because of the split screen. But they put the stuff off to the side. So let's take a look at this. This is definitely right up my alley. Oh yeah, see, I like how they do this with the split screen. This is out now? This is out now. Yeah, today. Alright, I'm gonna have to pick this up for Switch, definitely. Yeah, I haven't played any of these. I was kind of hoping they'd bring the WiiWare Castlevania out again, but there are ways to play it. Oh, this looks awesome. So here's what I don't understand about Castlevania is that there's a huge demand for Castlevania and Castlevania-like games, but Konami will not give us a new Castlevania. Instead, they add Castlevania flavoring to other indie titles. It's kind of crazy, but yeah, I would love to be able to play these the first time. I'd like to see more DS games on the Switch. Like, if they can do this, I'm like, yeah, let's just throw a bunch of DS games on the Switch. Play them officially. I mean, you can play them on a PC, obviously, but Haunted Castle Revisited. So, Haunted Castle was the arcade Castlevania game, and it was not good. But maybe the remake will be pretty good. Yeah, multi-display layout. Okay, that's pretty cool. Oh, you can play it like a DS. I don't think I'd want to do that in a big screen, though. All right, so that's out now. That's awesome. Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster arrives in March of 2025. Okay, there's another one I'm very interested in because I'm old. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, these were classics, and if you didn't pick them up when they first came out, like, they were crazy expensive. Yeah, it looks pretty much like the original. They didn't do anything crazy with it, thank God. Of course, the way things are going now, they probably took everybody's, pronouns away or something. It's like all the characters are non-binary for today's audience that isn't going to buy this game anyway. Yeah, Suikoden 2 was incredibly expensive. All right, awesome. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to pick that up. Capcom Fighting Collection 2. God. See, now they're speaking my language. So we did a video on Clownfish TV on the main channel yesterday talking about how Hollywood is starting to pivot to Gen X. And I swear to God, I think video games are starting to pivot to Gen X too, or older gamers. And I think they're going to, especially after the failures of Concord and Dustborn and so many other games, right? Suicide Squad, so many other games that had you know, a lot of DEI infused into their DNA. I think a lot of gamers are going to go back to older games, and this is what I'm going to buy. I'm not going to buy a lot of the new stuff, right? This is Capcom Fun Collection 2.
Yeah, come on. Everybody come alive real quick. Battle of the strong, survival of the fit. Take your best shot, hope you don't miss.
Capcom versus SNK. Capcom versus SNK 2. These are great games. Awesome. Power Stone. Underrated. Very underrated game. Power Stone 2. Project Justice. I've actually never played this one. Street Fighter Alpha 3. I actually prefer Alpha 2. I'm gonna be honest. Fighting Evolution. Plasma Sword. It's another underrated. And Art Gallery. Yeah, that's another one I'm gonna be picking up. Five Nights at Freddy's games jump scaring their way on the Switch, so they're gonna put Help 1 and 2 on Switch. That is definitely pinky boosting. My Sims, I thought that was kind of interesting. Kids used to play this back in the day. Tales of Grace's F Remastered comes to Switch. Another Tales game. A lot of Tales. God, how many Tales games are there now? Balatro, I don't know. Neva, what is this? Neva, official release date trailer. Super stylish narrative adventure. Civilization 7 coming to Switch. Power Wash Simulator with Shrek. Well, that's interesting. Okay. Sea of Stars, which, God, I still haven't played this game yet. I've had it since launch, and I still haven't played it yet, and everybody says about how good it is, and I'm like, I do not have time to sink into an RPG right now, but yeah, they're going to have DLC. Throes of the Watchmaker DLC. Now, this game scratches that Chrono itch for a lot of people, and I've heard nothing but good things about this. Again, this is kind of what we would expect from Square now, but we're not getting it from them. It's like a circus thing. Pith and Poof. Oh, it's a Robo Frog. I get it. I get it. Yeah, I gotta play this game. Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake, its gameplay trailer. People were not happy with this one because they are taking away gender and giving us like body type A and B or whatever again. More JRPGs, more JRPG. Oh no, never mind. It's Fitness Boxing 3. Your personal trainer. SpongeBob, I don't care. Goat Simulator 3 coming out for Switch. I'm sure kids will like that. Goat Simulator is fun. It's okay. Star Overdrive. Tetris Forever. Okay, so this is a retro collection.
These games are falling into place.
Okay.
3 of Tetris with a compilation of historic games. Experience the 1988 Famicom version of Tetris.
So we have like the Tengen version. Oh, we have Bombless.
Combos using explosions in Tetris 2 plus Bombless.
Yo, why are you playing Tetris? You should be outside touching grass, right?
Moves to win
According to was it Sky News or whatever, the reporter.
In this interactive
all right, so that's a lot of Tetris.
Games.
I like Tetris, but I don't know if I like Tetris that much. Pizza Tower. I know my nephew is into that game. That's coming out for Switch. Metal Slug Tactics. How do you do Metal Slug as a tactics game? Let's see here. Do you have gameplay? There we go. Oh my god, yeah, it's Metal Slug. It's Tactics. It's Metal Slug Tactics. I might have to check this one out too. God, there's a lot of good stuff coming out. I mean, there is good stuff. I mean, for all the Duncan that we do. Everybody hates it when I say Duncan. All the Duncan that we do on the modern gaming industry. There is a lot of good stuff coming out, but it's mostly coming from the indie space. On Your Tail, What's this? Cuisinier, a roguelike dungeon crawler, coming in 2025. Okay. Europa. Exploration game Europa. Promises a breathtaking world of lakes, meadows, and mountains scattered within the remains of a fallen civilization. Hold on, this might actually be kind of interesting.
It is the only constant in life.
Looks like Zelda.
Change is what permits life. It is life itself.
Wow, the graphics
Violence
are
we have
beautiful.
inflicted on the planet is
All right,
returning
this
to
is
us
a maybe. This is a
But at
maybe.
the same time, it is not too late. You are the cure, my son. When we get to the island, we will show everybody the light.
Okay, I like this. I like this. Shovel Knight, another Shovel Knight game. These games are awesome, but they're really freaking hard. We have a Plague Doctor now. Very Mega Man-esque, but Squid King, I think, has beaten all of these. He's actually shockingly good at platformers, right? I thought it'd be too old man for him, but he is actually very good at platformers. Oh, okay, so it's just the Ultimate Edition. Okay, so it's like all the DLC. Cool, that's coming out. Okay, what else we got? Pico Park 2. I don't even have any interest in that, but okay. Wobbly Life. It's an open world physics sandbox game. Wobbly Life. We got Penguin. Bubble bopping and role-playing game combo Penguin is shadow launching on the Switch. So this is out today. What is this? I gotta look at this. What is this? Penguin. Peglin. I'm sorry. It's Peglin. Is that Grogu? It's not really my thing. What else? Okay, this one I heard. Date Everything lets you date everything in October. So this is like the ultimate dating sim. You can date like everything. So Date Everything is taking the dating simulator genre to new heights when it arrives in October. The official synopsis reads, Date Everything is a sandbox dating simulator featuring 100 fully voice-acted dateable characters. At least they call F everything. Each dateable object will open up, have their own stories, and potentially become your lovers, friends, or enemies. Are you ready to date everything? No, I'm really not. I really don't want to date everything. I'm good. Top-down roguelike Morsels announced. Moth Qubit. Coffee Talk Tokyo is a super cute game about chatting and drinking coffee. That is not my thing, but if it's your thing, that's cool. So these weren't in the roundup, and this isn't really official, but Yuzo Koshiro, who did the music for Streets of Rage, and he also, I think Ancient is his company, but he did Beyond Oasis, but he's got a new 16-bit shooter coming out for the Genesis, and check this out. This looks really good. Ancient, yep. This is what I want. I want more old games, or more new games. I'm sorry, more new games for old consoles, because I think there's something about the limitations of the console that really makes you be creative, right? You gotta work within the framework. But this is for the Mega Drive. Oh, it's limited run. No, not limited run. This looks awesome, but I don't want to buy from limited run. For those of you who don't remember the controversy around Limited Run, they fired their community manager simply for being excited about Hogwarts Legacy, which is the highest selling game of last year, sold like 25 million copies or something. She was excited about it, so a couple of activists went digging in her Twitter timeline, got her fired for like a 7-year-old tweet that they said was transphobic, and it was not. And she got fired by Limited Run Games for being excited about the highest selling game of 2023. So Yuzo Koshiro, I have mad respect for you. This game looks awesome, but I refuse to buy anything from Limited Run Games. This one is Victory Heat Rally which I think it looks like penny racers. And this is on Niche Gamer, by the way. They put the trailer up for this. This actually looks like a lot of fun. I hope it's not limited run games too, because I'm not buying. Okay, it was Kickstarter. Yeah, I'm not buying anything from limited run games. This looks like a lot of fun though. This is like totally my speed. Yeah, it looks like a Core Q penny racers.
The VHRC. Cowabunga!
Easy left.
Yeah, I love this.
All right.
This looks like it would have been a PS1 or a N64 game back in the day. Yeah, I love this. Definitely getting this. Platonic, okay. Didn't they do the, is it Yuki and Leilu or something? I forget what it was. It was supposed to be like Banjo Kazooie, but it was another.
Check out that replay.
It was like a chameleon, and I don't know. This looks really cool, though. I definitely want to get that. All right, is there any other? Oh yeah, Atari. This looks pretty cool too. So Atari's apparently back. I'm just gonna run through a whole bunch of trailers right now. Atari is apparently back, and they're doing Fatal Run 2089, and this looks freaking awesome. This looks awesome. Yeah, so I used to play Death Track back in the day. I don't know if you guys remember that. That was, I think Activision put that out. And it was like a Mad Max racing game, and I used to play the hell out of that. I had it for my 286 PC back in like the late 80s, early 90s. And I'm getting the same kind of vibe from this. And, I'll turn it down a little bit. Looks awesome. Yeah, so there's a lot of good stuff coming out, right? I mean, that's what I want to get across here, and that's one thing I want to start playing more on the main Clownfish TV channel is more indie titles and retro games, and try to pick out the I guess the corn and the turds. Like the big pile of shit is the modern video game industry. Pick out the games that are actually pretty good, and they're not all going to be like hundreds of millions of dollars invested in these games. A lot of times it is just a small team, and I'm okay with that. Apparently Atari Digital Eclipse is behind the Power Rangers game coming out too, the Rita's Rewind, which looks very much like the Ninja Turtle game, which was also pretty awesome. So let's see what else we got going on here. We'll talk about Blue Protocol. Remember, there was a lot of drama about that game. Yeah, they're not gonna bring it over here. They're shutting it down. It's being shut down in Japan, and it will not be localized for the West. This is coming from Massively OP. Oh, I'm sorry, Massively OP. Massively Overpowered. Massively OP. What the hell's wrong with me? MassivelyOverpowered.com. Massively Slop. I think we need a site for all these really shitty video games and call it like massivelyslop.com. The writing has appeared to be on the wall for a while now, they said. It's official. Blue Protocol is being shut down in January of 2025. It also means plans for the game's Western release have been canceled. There was some controversy around that. The announcement went live on the game's Japanese site as well as the English site, and the studio stated that Bandai Namco Online had a positive working relationship with Amazon Games throughout the localization process, and the team is sorry the game can't be brought to a worldwide audience. I'm kind of waiting for Phantasy Star 2 Online to get the axe. It seems like it's not that popular, and that's a real shame. But it is what it is. Neither company gives a specific reason for the closure, but the game's weaker player counts as multiple delays during development, and Bandai Namco's online has financial problems right now. And that led to increased speculation the game wasn't coming westward as originally planned. It had also been left off of Amazon's release schedule. Our condolences to the team. Yeah, they're shutting it down because there was controversy around this game. Censorship was the big issue. They said they were censoring some of the costumes. People are like, you're acting like it's a deal breaker and this game isn't going to come out over here. This is on Reddit, by the way, and they're always, it's Reddit. But yeah, it's not coming out over here. It's a deal breaker. It's just not making enough money. So let's talk about Star Wars Outlaws. We'll wrap up with that. And it's not looking too good for them. The reviews are not great. I've been kind of keeping tabs on this. Now, I don't really care. Oh, of course, Rolling Stone thinks it's fantastic, but a lot of people said, yeah, the good and lots of bad about Star Wars Outlaws from Forbes. The Verge says it's a perfectly fine open world game. Yeah, so it's just like, I don't know. It's getting pretty mid reviews. I had no desire to buy this game either way. I mean, we haven't spent a lot of time shitting on this game. If we have, it's because of Ubisoft as a company. Mostly, and the game just looked pretty mid. I mean, it's okay. It's all right. It's not my thing, and I'm not into Disney Star Wars, so I don't really care. But it's also $70, $109, $120 or something for this game. It's like I am not paying $120 for a mid Star Wars game. That a game like this would be on sale, on clearance, in 6 months normally. So they just want to get people in before the holidays, before Assassin's Creed Shadows, which I think is going to be another massive failure for them. This comes from Gizmodo. Game-breaking bug forces Star Wars Outlaws players to start over. People ponied up $110 just to be saddled with busy work. Outlaws players on the PS5 received an email Tuesday advising them of the newest update to the game. The message advised players they might need to restart their games from the beginning in order to prevent further issues. Can you imagine buying this game for over $100 and being told by the company that there's a game-breaking bug and you need to start over? What if you already have like 20 or 30 hours into this game? At that point, I'd just be like, screw it, I'm not playing anymore. I'm not starting over. The game's, I mean, if it's like the best game ever and you want to put the time into it, but I'm like, no, I'm not starting over. I could have spent that time doing literally anything else. Here's the email first seen by IGN to best experience the Outer Rim. We rolled out a maintenance to make sure everyone's playing the latest version of the game. As one of the players affected who had access to an older version of the game, we are aware you might be encountering some issues. After this patch, we sincerely apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused. Once you've confirmed you have the latest version, please start a new save to fully enjoy Star Wars Outlaws as our team intended. Then why didn't you ship the game complete, play tested? Ubisoft, are you in such a hurry to make as much money as you can? Because they just had to lay a bunch of people off this year. And I don't think the pre-orders for Assassin's Creed are going to be fantastic. It's not going to be Concord, right? It's going to do a lot better than that, but I don't think it's going to be up to the levels that they were hoping for, especially with all the controversy around that. If you continue on a prior save, you will face issues and progression blockers. It's unclear what bugs this patch fixes, as players on Reddit have come across different issues while playing the game. One player noted after a mission that took place in space, they were unable to land back on the planet. It does seem like the console versions have more of these issues than the PC version, according to Reddit. As someone who is playing through the game myself, I've only encountered small bugs and graphical hiccups, but nothing that would require a restart. As for the game itself, it's 76% at OpenCritic, and IO9's review praised the game for creating a game in which you can be a real scoundrel that uses wit and skill instead of a lightsaber and the Force. And yeah, apparently you can sneak up on people by just walking up to them and they don't even notice you, and then you grab them from behind and drag them and slide clear across the freaking screen. I don't care. This person here, Fake Superman, says if you paid $110 for an Ubisoft game without researching their illustrious history of these types of things, then you sort of deserve the frustration. Michael here says stop pre-ordering games. How many times do we need to say this? Yeah, exactly. An Ubisoft game full of bugs and borderline broken at launch? Wow. 3 hours of playtime, had to start over, says Joe. Not the end of the world, but frustrating. Why would anyone ever pay for early access? I don't know, guys. There it is. That's not going to help sell copies of this game, which is already going to have a tough time selling copies at the price, and being Disney Star Wars, and just people being fed up with Ubisoft. But it is what it is. So I'm going to wrap this one up, guys. Thanks so much again. If you want to listen to the audio version of DREZZED, we cover video games and the paranormal, and we do interviews and stuff. It is a kind of a separate podcast from Clownfish TV. Go out to Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, wherever you listen to podcasts. Please give us a sub over there. You can watch the video version if you're listening to it and you want to see it. Go out to the Clownfish TV YouTube channel and you can actually see what the hell we're talking about. We'll talk to you guys later.